Okay, YouTubers and all my subscribers, I've got an update on the NIBIRU seen with the naked eye video that I did on the New Year, and guess what? It's much closer now, and yeah, it's not Mars, it's not Venus, it's not Jupiter. They are not even in this range of sky. At the end of the video, you will see that. I have included a update at the end of the video about the positional planets. Now, what you are seeing here, I've actually just downgraded the luminosity of the planet in different, or whatever it is, to try and work out if there was something else to it. And getting these odd shapes, that triangular shape, I don't know why that came into it, but it could actually be part of the object. Now remember, the luminosity has been decreased. This is actually early morning, the sun is actually almost rising, but I tried to decrease the luminosity to see what it was, because it is emitting a fair amount of light. Now I believe the sun is illuminating this, because I believe whatever it is now within our solar system. Yes, within our solar system. Now, as you can see, it's the same three objects that were in the video that I had. Well, it was NIBIRU seen with the naked eye. I'll put a link to that video in this as well. Now, also, one of the orbiting bodies of this planet has got an orbiting body. There it is there. And it looks to be similar to that same one that I've been seeing all this time. But I don't know whether this... Now, this is the strange thing. I don't know whether this is the same one. But I don't think it is. Okay, because there are different positional things to the planets. But it's still in the same position. It's still near the coming from the direction of the Big Dipper, and it's still coming. But the thing is, there's another two objects that look to be similar to this. Now, this is, as I said, the strange thing. I can't work out whether this is the same, or this one is the same orbiting body that I've been seeing. Either way, it is still getting closer. But what really gets me is that is what I originally saw, was those three positional planets, but much further out. Now, yet that orbiting body there has orbiting bodies. It's not one of our planets. It does not belong. You'll see at the end of this video that even if that is the same one, which I doubt it is, someone has suggested, one of my friends said that could be a ship that's in a bit like a geosynchronous orbit in that thing, or just sitting out in deep space. But the thing is, here is the bright object. Now, there are no planets in this area. None whatsoever. There are no planets in this area, except Neptune and Uranus, which are should slightly be more to the left of these objects. And I looked in the sky, and I've never ever been able to see with this camera Neptune or Uranus. I've tried, but I've never ever been able to see them, and the position of them is actually not in the position that Neptune and Uranus should be. They should be across further, and Neptune and Uranus would never be this bright in the night sky. And basically, the positional of them, what got me was the simple fact that it's been in the same position that this object has been coming. It has been getting closer. I know I have not done an update in some time, mainly to the fact that every time we've had reasonably clear sky, that unfortunately these haven't been visible due to a small amount of cloud cover, and you'd only capture them for a couple of minutes. So I've been watching them, waiting for them to get an absolute clear morning, because we have had quite bad weather over here over the last few months now, and the simple fact that now this type of flashing is ominous to like UFOs that I've had in the past as well. Now this is early morning. Now we should have nothing in our sky that bright, that visible at this time of morning, because Mars, Venus are on the other side of the planet, visible to the United States but not visible to us at this time of the morning. And basically, yeah, and you look at that, that's what makes me, now this is not been adjusted, this is just looking at it in the brightness of the effect. Now I've just switched over to night vision just to see what it does, and all it did was just brighten up the object. But as you can see, there's that typical UFO blackness to the sides of the object, and yeah, it's quite unusual to see these things. I still don't know what it is. I still believe this is NIBIRU, and that could be the brown dwarf, the adjacent bright part of it that's with it. The very bright one could be the star of NIBIRU, and have another orbiting body, which is what we would have seen. But I now believe that this has entered within our solar system range. They are too bright, too close, and to see the orbiting bodies of an orbiting body makes me think, okay, something's really going on here, and it is being covered up by our governments. And now, as you can see, there's the second orbiting body up to the background of it. This is actually the object pulsing, and there it is there. This is the brighter one, but see, as you look there, it looks more like a UFO rather than a star. But I don't know what it is. It's sort of, unfortunately, I don't have the telescope to actually get out and really see it, but I think all I'm going to get is the similar pulsing effect. I've looked at these things with telescopes before and had similar pulsing effects happening to me. And yeah, it's just basically something you've got to put in and sort of see it. But when you look at that, you've got to say, okay, what's actually going on? Sorry for the camera movement, folks. I'm doing this by hand. My tripod wasn't in too good of a shape on that morning. Now, these black sides to them, I've never been able to work out what they are. But now this could either be just a new UFO beside the object, with the secondary UFO up there as well. But I do believe there's something more to this than meets the eye. And as you can see now, here I'm lowering the luminosity of it and raising the luminosity, trying to work out what it is. And there is definitely something to this. It's sort of, when you look at this object, you will see that there's something truly going on with it, and there's not too much I can do about it. But in a minute, what you're going to see is actually the worldwide telescope, where I've lined up the planets and everything, and as you can clearly see, the only two possible planets would be Neptune and Uranus. And as I said, they've never been this bright in the night sky or morning sky. Especially, I've never been able to see them in this much light, even with telescopes. So what we are seeing here is something that just doesn't belong in our solar system. And yes, I truly believe this is now entering our solar system, and I believe this is what the Mayans have counted down to. I don't believe the Mayan clock is a ending. I believe it's a countdown to something that's going to happen. And I do believe, yes, that it has something to do with NIBIRU and may have religious connotations as well. but there's something going on, and what you'll see in a few moments is me, and the audio on the next part of the video is directly from the day that I took it, and it was shot on the exact day, moments after I shot this video, to prove that it could not be Mars or Jupiter or Venus, because they just were not in our night sky. Jupiter was in fact would have been behind me, because it was visible just the night before. By setting the worldwide telescope up at daytime, placing the moon, which is here, and basically zooming out and looking at the planet structure, you can see that the only two planets is Neptune and Uranus. There are no other planets in the respective position of that object that I've just shown you. As you can see, the only two planets that could be visible in that position is Uranus and Neptune, and I've never ever seen them that bright. So basically, yeah. And I'll zoom back in to put the moon, show you the moon's in the right spot from where we're looking at it, because the direction of the moon was in that direction, the direction of those two bright lights were in that direction. So once again we zoom out, and as you can see, it could not be those two. So there we are, there's Earth, there's the moon in that position, and most probably could go that way, but I do not think Uranus and that, I've never ever seen Uranus and Neptune, especially on this camera, so yeah, especially that bright. So whatever they are not stars, definitely not our planets. So yeah, something is going on, and yeah, there's the proof.
Or phone connection.
Because I believe whatever it is now within our solar system. Yes, within our solar system. Now, as you can see, it's the same three objects that were in the video that I had. Was new. Yeah, I've actually just downgraded the luminosity of the planet in different, or whatever it is, to try and work out if there was something else to it, and getting these odd shapes, that triangular shape. I don't know why that came into it, but it could actually be part of the object. Now remember, the luminosity has been decreased. This is actually early morning, the sun is actually almost rising, but I tried to decrease the luminosity to see what it was, because it is emitting a fair amount of light. Now I believe the sun is illuminating this. It's not Venus, it's not Jupiter, they are not even in this range of sky. At the end of the video you will see that. I have included a update at the end of the video about the positional planets. Now what you are seeing here, okay, YouTubers and all my subscribers, I've got an update on the NIBIRU seen with the naked eye video that I did on the New Year, and guess what, it's much closer now, and yeah, it's not Mars,